Welcome back to the JCPod, partnered with Stare Down Sports. Stare Down Greatness. It's that time, people. We made it. After all these weeks and all these days and these couple months of the off season, we are in to the regular season. While it might not be the full regular season, it's still week 0. And it's still real football that for a real record for the end of the season. So we're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a fun one today. I got a little bit of NFL news to talk about, not too much. And then got one thing I want to talk about college football-wise when it comes to a new logo. Hint, hint. And then past that, I got 3 bets for you today. I want to talk through them a little bit. We'll go over some of the other games, and I'll talk about my leans, and then that's it. Probably going to be a bit of a shorter one today than normal just because there's not as much to talk about, but pretty much, I mean, starting, like I said, I don't think next week I'm going to go to 3 episodes just because NFL hasn't kicked off yet fully, and we still have a lot more college games to kick off. I mean, there's only like 5 or 6 games this weekend, so I think next week's probably going to be the last week you see me go 2 episodes a week, and then for at least the rest of the season, we're going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's probably going to be the little streak that we roll on. So let's do it, people. So yeah, the first thing I want to talk about, Cam Hayward's been practicing despite the stalemate, so it makes me wonder if they're going to come to some sort of agreement or if he's going to end up just kind of folding and playing on his deal. He was at hold-in. Sorry, I'm going to have to cut out a lot of that because, of course, the second I started talking, it played a video and it took forever to go away. So shout out ads on articles. But Cam Hayward's been at practice, so it's going to be interesting to see what comes of his deal because we only got 2 weeks left. Anthony Richardson's agent come out and said that Anthony Jones' future is uncertain with the Colts, which makes sense. Not too shocking there. But they used to come out and said some other stuff like, oh, we don't know if we trust the organization anymore. We're going to be distant. It's like, all right, buddy. Hate to say it, but there's a reason that you're an agent and he is the player. So I just hope for his sake, Anthony Richardson's sake, that his agent doesn't make it worse than it already is. Because don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not a bad situation for Anthony Richardson. I mean, it just sucks. It sucks, and it could be definitely made a lot worse if his agent says the wrong thing or pushes it too much. I hope that, I mean, for Anthony Richardson at this point, I just hope he's able to keep his head down. He's able to keep grinding. And I just hope he's able to eventually come back and make a statement. Because, yeah, it really just sucks that we wasn't able to win the job. But the fact his agent's coming out and saying some stuff now, it's like, you're not making the situation any better, man. The New Orleans Saints have yet to name a starter. They're to the final week of training camp. Obviously, it's going to be between Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler. Jake Haener getting hurt probably killed his chances of starting. And if I had to guess, I really don't know. Spencer Rattler's been decent. Yeah, I think both guys are putting, this is what Kellen Moore to say, I think both guys are putting in tremendous effort, tremendous work. They're both doing a ton of good things, so we'll see how it goes. Makes you wonder. I mean, you would think you'd want to see what you got in the rookie, but maybe they'll give him like an extra few games to get ready. They'll try Rattler, and then if it goes bad with Rattler, go to Shough. I don't know. That Saints QB situation is weird because it just feels like regardless, in like 2 or 3 years, they're going to have another quarterback in there. I mean, Tyler Shough could end up being a guy, and it could be totally wrong, but just from my outside feeling kind of looking in right now, it feels like that they're at least going to try to draft another quarterback within the next 2 or 3 years, so it truly feels like, I mean, either guy could start. I don't know who. I would assume Rattler might have a little bit of a shorter leash so they can see what the rookie got since they don't know fully what Tyler Shough can do, but I don't know. I'll admit, based on what I've read and what I've seen this offseason, I couldn't tell you. If I had to guess, I'd assume it's probably going to be Spencer Rattler because he's not horrible and he showed some decent stuff last year, but yeah, like I said, I don't know. The Vikings are looking to trade for a veteran receiver, and this came out after Jordan Addison has been suspended. He's going to miss the first 3 games, obviously. They're also dealing with other injuries at the position. Jalen Naylor is week to week with a hand injury. Justin Jefferson returned to practice this week, but he's been dealing with a hamstring injury. So that's one there where you're like, that could be a little bit sketchy, but yeah, I mean, their wide receiver definitely gets a little bit thin. Lucky Jackson, Ty Felton, and Deshaun Jones are the other wide receivers on the roster. And none of these players have recorded a reception in the NFL, so yeah. If there's a veteran wide receiver to be had, if there's going to be like for example, how this isn't the same position, but obviously like Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, that quarterback situation in Cleveland, how one of them has to go. There's a lot of veteran receivers who probably aren't going to make training camp, so I wouldn't be shocked to end up signing one of those. One of those guys don't make it, but it feels like, the Vikings are going to be getting a veteran receiver sometime in the next, 3 to 4 weeks. Ladarius Sneed has been removed from the PUP, so he's going to be able to finally start practicing. He was part of the big spending spree last year for the Tennessee Titans, and he wound up on injury reserve after just 5 games with his quadricep injury. And then apparently during an off-season camp that he was... Oh, excuse me. He said that during off-season camp it's the healthiest he's ever been, but they kept him on the physically unable to perform. Because apparently he had a cleanup surgery in his knee in May. This makes you think, like, man, did the Chiefs get rid of him at the right time? I hate to say it, but... Like I said, since he's been there, only played 5 games, starting to get banged up a little bit. Because I'll admit, when the Chiefs first got rid of Ladarius Sneed, I was looking at that situation like, man, why'd they kind of let him walk? I thought he was pretty good for him, and now he hasn't played in like a full year. I mean, obviously he could come back and still be great, but as of right now, it's kind of looking like, all right, so the Chiefs definitely knew something we didn't know, so that's interesting to see there. The Patriots are open to trading Kyle Duggar. This is apparently... Oh, okay, excuse me. Sorry, I was reading something to make sure I got it right. So, yeah, Duggar played well into the 4th quarter, I guess, of their last preseason game. So, and he hasn't been on the field with starting defenses, so that kind of tells you what they're thinking there. Kind of shocked they're getting rid of him, honestly. I don't know if... I'm assuming that there's a rumor that... I think I saw a rumor out there that he might also be potentially cut. So, if they saw that, I'm assuming that nobody's going to trade for him. If he already is on the chance of being cut, they might just get rid of him. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a trade thing or not. He signed a 4-year, $58 million extension that includes $32.5 million in 2024, so it's going to make it harder to trade for him. But I mean, if the Patriots are willing to eat money, it shouldn't be an issue. I just don't know why they're getting rid of him. Honestly, I don't know if it's like a thing where they just don't like how he's playing. If it's a wrong, I don't know if it's just like a wrong owner, like new ownership group, I guess, but. Like, I just don't know. Maybe he's just not been as good. That could be nothing. Honestly, maybe he's not been as good. I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I've watched every single Patriots game, but I thought he's pretty decent. So yeah, the fact that he's not going to be potentially playing anymore for the Patriots, that could be interesting. Because yeah, if he's playing well into a 4th quarter of a preseason game, and a lot of the starters aren't playing, I mean, unless this is a Josh Jacobs situation with the Raiders, and even then he was gone that very next year. It's like, yeah, it seems like he's probably going to be gone then, if not cut, like said. Titans, Cam Ward. Oh, wait, never mind. I thought there was fines. There's no fine for him. Never mind. The Jets have acquired defensive tackle Juwan Briggs from the Cleveland Browns in a trade. The Browns also sent a 7th-round pick to the Jets in next year's NFL draft. And the New York Jets are sending them a 6th-rounder. Pretty much they got this to add depth to the defensive line in New York. Because I'm assuming that... Apparently, okay, yeah, that's why. Byron Cowart has missed time in training camp with an ankle injury, so I'm assuming they signed him to pretty much add more depth and fill a void. And I'm assuming he's going to be a decent depth piece for them. He just came out of the draft, I think, in 23. So, young guy with a chance to make a name for himself. Anything else? The Bears signed Tyjae Bagent to a 2-year extension worth $16 million. I don't know what this means. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but the fact they paid him $16 million makes me think that like this. So this dude's one, a really hard worker, most likely, if they're willing to pay that much, and 2, it makes me think because I also I won't lie, I've heard that he's been a really good worker for them, but I just don't know. I don't know why they another situation that I'm very. It's just interesting reading behind the tea leaves, reading in between the lines, like. Because it makes you wonder. Like, I'm not going to say this is going to happen, but if Caleb Johnson has kind of a down year this year, we for sure will probably see Tyson Bagent. But maybe Ben Johnson likes him a little bit more than a lot of us expected. So it's one of those situations where it's like, hey, let's keep him around. And like the Russell Wilson situation, it was like, oh, hey, let's homeboy, yeah, Williams, he's not pulling it. Let's bring in Bagent. Is that going to happen? I don't think so. Something really drastic would have to happen, but the fact they find him worth the 2-year extension worth $16 million, especially when it's a new regime, pretty much, makes me think that okay, so this guy's doing something good behind the scenes. So, yeah, it's just shout out to him. Decent amount of money. Don't know what's going to come of it though, especially because like I say, he's back. He shouldn't play. If Caleb Williams is supposed to be what he's supposed to be, they basically paid $16 million to a position for a guy who Should never really come in, maybe other than unless Caleb Williams is sitting because they won a lot of games. Apparently, Brian Schottenheimer is confident that Micah Parsons will be on the field for Week 1, even though he doesn't have a contract extension. He said, I feel good that Mike will be out there against Philadelphia. This is the opposite of what Jerry has said, and it's the opposite of what seems like it's been going on. I still don't even think he's in practice still, so I don't know why all of a sudden there's a... I don't know why all of a sudden Schottenheimer's like, yeah, he's going to be out there when he hasn't practiced at all. I mean, I guess he could just go straight away and play, but he probably will get limited snaps if he doesn't. Like, if he doesn't practice up until the game, and then they're like, yep, he's good to go for the game, he's probably playing 50% of snaps, if that. I don't think you're just going to give him a full workload when he hasn't worked out really all or practiced all offseason with the team. That Micah situation is just weird, man, because I genuinely don't know what the Cowboys are trying to do. Like, I don't know what they're trying to get from this. Like, either trade the guy if you're going to trade him or just pay the guy. Especially one of these guys. Like, if this is one of those guys where you're like, man, I don't know for sure if we should get rid of him or not, then I kind of understand it. But Micah Parsons has 52.5 sacks over 4 years. 52.5 sacks over 4 years. And they're struggling to decide if they want to pay him or not. I mean, I'll admit maybe so there's some games where the production isn't fully there, but... especially in like the run game or something, but it's a guy they drafted. I mean, just nothing about this makes sense. It's a guy they drafted that's usually a guy you want to keep. I mean, he has gotten a little bit loud in the media, but the more you learn about Jerry Jones a little bit, that might be one of those things where it's like maybe this is just a special situation with the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, so it's not explainable because maybe the explanation is because it's Jerry Jones at the head of this, which is like, okay, little odd stuff will happen here and there. Harrison Phillips is traded from Minnesota. He is going to go to the Jets. The Jets are sending a 6th round draft pick in 2026 and 2027 to the Vikings. Vikings are trading 2027th rounder along with Phillips. Assuming that the 29-year-old can pass a physical. I can't believe he's only 29. I thought he was way older than that. He's been with... Oh, he played in Buffalo? I forgot about that. So he's been 4 years in Buffalo. I thought he was in a Viking for his whole career. I forgot he played in Buffalo for a little bit. 3 years with the Vikings after 4 years in Buffalo. And I'm assuming that this is going to be another... Didn't the Jets just get rid of somebody? Wasn't that what I just talked about? Oh, no. So the Jets are getting a lot of defensive tackle help because they signed that other guy I talked about just a minute ago. Juwan Briggs. So they just signed Juwan Briggs. They also they traded for Juwan Briggs, traded for Harrison Phillips. That makes me think that either they do not feel really good about their defensive tackles, which especially coming into they're going to be a team that's going to run the ball a lot and look to play defense. So my guess is that they aren't fully exactly excited for what they got of defensive tackles. They're looking at a little bit of depth there, which probably wouldn't hurt, especially because their quarterback is a little bit of a up and down roller coaster. The 49ers, Demarcus Robinson is going to be facing a 3-game suspension for his DUI case. I don't think this is too much shocking at all. I think pretty much, yeah, based on what I'm reading, last month he had a misdemeanor DUI charge. I think most of the people in the 49ers front office assumed it'd be about 3-ish games. So this is not too shocking at all. We knew a suspension was coming. Now we know it's 3 games. So it just sucks for the 49ers who are dealing with so many issues at wide receiver now. Because they lost Deebo Samuel. They lose him for 3 games. Ayuk's not going to be back till midseason. Juwan Jennings been out for most of training camp with a calf injury. Jordan Watkins, who's a rookie, has a high ankle sprain, which is not good because if it's a high ankle sprain, that's even more weeks to heal. And Jacob Cowing is nursing a hamstring injury with hamstring injury at the beginning of the year. Yikes. So, as you can see, the 49ers are just destroyed at wide receiver. So, Demarcus Robinson, when he gets back from those 3 games, I mean, he's going to be an important person to get back. The Saints are acquiring Bailey from the Broncos. This is interesting. Devon Bailey. The Broncos will get a 4th-round selection in next year's draft and a 7th round in 2027 in exchange. I couldn't say exchange, but I said extension. In exchange for Bailey. Not a bad move, I don't think at all. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks, Mason Tipton, Cedric Wilson, and Dante Pettis are your wide receivers. I mean, Bailey's probably going to get some starts, especially if Chris Olave goes down to injury or has any of his head issues at all. I mean, Bailey's just really good to add into it. But rookie Pat Bryant apparently has been doing really good in training camp from what I've heard for the Broncos. So it's one of those things where I'm assuming him and Bailey played similar positions. So it's like, hey, let's try to get something for this guy because we know this guy's going to be pretty good. And if Pat Bryant is anything like he was in college, He going to be really good. So I think this is a really good trade for the Saints. I mean, this is a good trade for the Broncos because they didn't really need the player. I think it's a good play for the Saints to get him. Speaking of depth, the wide receiver position for the 49ers, they made a trade as well. They traded Sky Moore. They traded for Sky Moore, from the Chiefs. Chiefs are sending Moore and a 2027 7th-round pick for a 2027 6th-round pick. We talked about the issues with the injuries with the 49ers, so it's not shocking at all. I will say getting this player a little bit shocking because, we just haven't seen... he was a second-round pick in 2024. He's yet to record more than 250 receiving yards any of his 3 seasons. He also finished with 0 catches on 3 targets last year, so he basically didn't play at all. So, it's good that they're getting a... I will say, if this has anything to do... I'm trying to figure out what the benefit of this is. Yes, they can get some of the Chiefs' play calls if they really want to play it like that, and they can know some of what the Chiefs are doing if they really want to do that, but... Maybe there's just upside with him because I'll admit we just haven't seen him with the Chiefs in a while, and he wasn't horrible when he played with them, but he wasn't amazing. And, to be fair, though, he could be way better than any other receiver that the 49ers have with how bad their injuries are, so I really can't blame him for getting him. I'm just trying to... I won't lie to you. I can't rationalize why they would, and I'm not saying it's irrational that they got him. I just can't figure out, in my mind, it's why Sky Moore? What do they see in Sky Moore that we don't know? And I'll admit, I don't watch tape on Sky Moore every day, so there's something I could be missing that the 49ers know. It's just... That's an interesting one. Jimmy Ward, who was arrested in June on a felony domestic violence charge case, now being sued by the woman he allegedly assaulted. So I just wanted to bring that up. She is seeking damages more than $20 million. I don't know what this is going to have to do with him on and off the field. I just wanted to put this out there just so it's aware. Just basically to let it be known. The Bucs to activate Wait, what? So the Bucs are activating Godwin off of the PUP, but he's likely not to play until October. And if they're going to have him on the 53-man roster, that basically means he's coming back week 3 or week 4. That's what that tells me. So this is actually real. I think this is actually really good news rather than bad news because if he's coming off the PUP, and they're already missing Trenton Wirfs, and he's going to start the year on the 53-man roster as well. So I think it's a good sign because usually if you put him on IR, the PUP, I can't remember which one it is exactly, but I know one of them for sure. If you put him on there, I'm pretty sure it's IR. If they start the season on IR, it has to be at least 4 weeks. So if they're going to pull him off the PUP and they aren't going to put him on IR, that basically tells me hey, they're going to be ready by week 3 or week 4. And they don't want to wait that extra week to get him back. So that's probably a good sign for Godwin and Trenton Wirfs, that they are not on the PUP and they will be on the 53-man roster. And the final thing I want to talk about, Shedeur Sanders will play in the preseason finale. Joe Flacco will start. And the offensive starters will also play Saturday for the first time this preseason. Dylan Gabriel will face Flacco when he's pulled from the game, and then Sanders will be taking the reins after that. And then Kenny Pickett will not be playing, so I'm assuming that means he's going to be gone unless they decide to just keep him on the roster. If they don't keep him on the roster, it basically comes down to Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, and who's going to be the QB2 pretty much, because I think Joe Flacco is going to start for at least 6-7 games in the season, and if it keeps going well, maybe 8 or 9. But at some point, I think we are going to see Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, because even if the Browns are bad, they're going to want to see these guys because in next year's NFL draft, I'm pretty sure that Field Yates already did a mock, and I think he has 6 or 7 I think he has 6 quarterbacks going to the top 18 picks. So next year's a really heavy quarterback draft, so I wouldn't be shocked, like I said, if Joe Flacco ends up getting pulled somewhere mid-season and they see what they got in these rookies, because they can always just pull the trigger quarterback again next year. Jesus, man. Poor Browns. I know the Colts situation is bad, but sheesh. But that's going to do it for the NFL. For college football, the one thing I want to bring up is Notre Dame's changing their logo. I don't know if this is an alternate logo or if this is their official logo now, but they are changing their logo. It will officially be, it's almost very similar, but instead of the fighting stance now with the logo, he's carrying a football. So, yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. But shout out to Notre Dame, because they're definitely going to make a lot of money off that new shirt. And I bet you a lot of that money is going to be going into the football team. But yeah, that's going to do it for the news portion of the show. I'm going to end it. Like I said, let's go over some college football lines, man. Like I said, today's not going to be the longest of episodes. There's a little bit of news to talk about, and then there wasn't. Like I said, I only got three games I'm going to bet. I think there's 6 in total to talk about, so not too much going on today, man. But the first game, let's talk about it. It's Farmageddon in Ireland. We got Iowa State plus 3.5 taking on Kansas State, who's minus 3.5. I'll admit, the more and more I get into this game, I'm a little bit torn and I'm a little bit more nervous. I took Iowa State plus 3.5 because it's a Big 12 game. I'm going to take the points. I like Rocco Beck a little bit more than Avery Johnson, but I think both quarterbacks are pretty good. Iowa State's lost 2 1,000-yard receivers to the NFL. They do get one of their better wide receivers back this year since he missed a lot of season with injury last year. Now he's back. But 2 of their other wide receivers are gone. Their defense should be a lot better and a lot healthier, so that part of it I feel kind of good about. But offensively, I don't know fully what we're going to expect from them. And then Kansas State, they got Avery Johnson. Their offensive line might be a tad bit weaker, but they still got decent skill positions. And just overall, it's a Big 12 game. Excuse me. Let's be honest. This is probably going to be a 12-point game at some point. Or, sorry, a one-score game at some point, not a 12-point game. I was reading the next spread by accident. No, but this should be a one-point game at some point. So I like the 3.5 with Iowa State. If it moved down to 2.5, I'll admit I'd be a little bit more nervous on it because I don't lie to you. I think Iowa State for sure can win this game. I just think it's going to have to be a little bit more of a defensive game if they do want to win it because, like I said, I don't know what to expect from their skill position. And, like I said, defensively they're going to be a little bit better this year. So I like that their over-under-wise. Over-under's at 50.5. Some people I like to listen to, they have the first half under. The first half under is about 24.5. Now it's at 26.5. I won't lie to you. I think I'm going to take. You know what? If I can do that with some other stuff, we might just add that into the Nasty Boy. I might just steal it from them. But yeah. I just think it's going to be a slower starting game to start out, and then we might see a little bit more scoring here. Or not here, but you know what I mean. We might see a little bit more scoring here and there as the game goes on. And then maybe a little bit later into the fourth quarter, maybe Kansas State pulls away, maybe Iowa State makes a run. I don't know. I just like this game to be a close game, so that's why I'm on the 3.5 points here. Let's be honest, it's the first week of the season. Anything can happen, honestly. I wouldn't be shocked. And it's not only is it the first week of the season, it's a Big 12 game, so that adds even more fun to it. I like Rocco Beck. I think Iowa State's defense is good, so I'm going to ride the quarterback I like a little bit more as well as the defense I like. The next game I have a bet on is Western Kentucky minus 10.5. The biggest thing I have an issue with is Sam Houston's quarterback situation. They do play at a very fast pace, but from one of the people I really like to listen to and get my information from on these teams, sounds like Sam Houston has 3 quarterbacks they're kind of choosing between to play. If you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. If you got 3 quarterbacks, do you got any quarterbacks? So I'm going to trust Sam Houston. Excuse me. I'm not going to trust Sam Houston. I'm going to go with Western Kentucky here. I also just project to be Western Kentucky to be one of the better teams in their conference this year. So coming out and starting the year strong against a team that could be really average this year, maybe even really bad. I think I'd be lying to you. I wouldn't be shocked if Sam Houston wins less than 5 games. I wouldn't be shocked to end up with 5-6 games. I just don't think it would be as good. And there's a reason Western Kentucky's favored by 10.5. They're a really good football team. I love this number at 9.5. Loved it at 9.5. I actually have a bet. My bet I have personally placed is 9.5. But, of course, you know how it goes. I basically didn't get to the line in time. So, minus 9.5 is minus 130. You know what? Minus 9.5 is minus 132. That's a little bit of juice, but I will take it because I like the 9.5. So we will go Western Kentucky minus 9.5. I just want to be able to. I bet at 9.5 at I think it was minus 120 or something like that, 115. But now I forget what the line was to start on Sunday. But like I said, now it moved up to 10.5. I'm going to take the 9.5 if I can get it, especially as long as it stays under 135. I am all over this 9.5. It's if it goes up to 140, then it's I might just bet the 10.5 at that point, and then. But yeah, if I can get 9.5, I'm going to get 9.5 because, like I said, I just think Western Kentucky is a bit better of a team than Sam Houston, and I trust their quarterback situation definitely a lot more because they aren't deciding between 3 quarterbacks. Final game. This is the game I'm the least confident in that I'm betting on, and then we will go over the rest of the games for the week. It is Hawaii, Stanford. Hawaii is minus 120. I mean, the Hawaii line just keeps moving and moving and moving, too. I think I bet it at one. Oh, I got it at 126. Didn't move too much. One book it's like 135. Other book it's 130. This book it's at 125. They were at minus 1.5 point favorites. Now they're minus 2.5 point favorites. I mean, these are two teams. Hawaii's not going to be the greatest of teams this year. I think they're going to be pretty average to below average. But Stanford's supposed to be like one of the worst Power 4 teams in the country. I mean, they're a team that. I think Frank Price, their head coach, and he pretty much knows this is like a one-year gig, and the next year they're going to find a new coach. So it just makes you wonder how much buy-in there is from the team with Stanford. They're plus 104 on the money line. I'll admit, the more I look at this game, the more I'm kind of like, man, it reminds me. I think there's something very similar happened last year, where Hawaii ended up like being favorited, and then they maybe closed as like 1-point dogs or closed as like even money, and then just got absolutely blown out by Stanford. Yeah, look at their football schedule from 2024. I think it was first game of the year, right? Where's this at? Sorry, I had to pull up their schedule to see if I was right. Maybe it was 2 years ago then. Was that 2 years ago? I don't remember what game it was then last year, but there was a game where maybe it was a UCLA game week 2, and after they won week 1, I just felt that way. I genuinely cannot remember at this point. But I just remember there was a game last year at some point where it's like, okay, maybe they aren't too bad. And it's like, oh, they're pretty bad. And maybe that's even Stanford I was thinking of. I don't know. I just know that Stanford wasn't too good last year either, let's be honest. But regardless, these are, I would at that point, these are two pretty bad teams. And this is just like almost like a test. I guess the best way to put it. This is almost like a test. Like, okay, let's see how bad Stanford really is, because like I wouldn't be shocked if they win this game, but I do think this is definitely a winnable game for Hawaii. Stanford's gonna be pretty bad this year, so this is kind of like a test. Like, all right, can Stanford beat Hawaii? Because if Stanford ends up winning this game, it's like, all right, so at least a little bit respectful. Probably gonna not probably not gonna bet on the rest of the year though. Might bet against them a couple times, but if they lose to Hawaii, it's like, okay, so they are as bad as we thought we were, and that might be another side where it's like, all right, maybe we start betting against Stanford and try and find some better lines. But like I said, so my 3 bets are Iowa State over 3.5, Western Kentucky minus 9.5, Hawaii money line. Those are my 3 bets. If I just looking at the rest of these games real quick, UNLV is 26.5 point favorites over Idaho State. I'd maybe go under there. Apparently, Idaho State's 5-2 in their last 7 games against FBS teams, but that's a stat I heard. I have no. No, I'm not probably gonna bet. I'm not gonna bet this game. There's no probably about it. I'm just not gonna bet this game. Probably won't even watch it. Kansas versus Fresno State. Kansas, I might take that 12.5 just because they finally have a new stadium. Their stadium's finished, so the crowd should hopefully be pretty big for them. Jalen Daniels is healthy to start the year, so healthy Jalen Daniels is really good for Kansas. So I like the 12.5. Didn't like it enough to take it though, so that's why I didn't bet it. But thank y'all for watching. Thanks for the support. I really do appreciate it. That's going to do it for this week. Feel free to check out Stare Down Sports. I really do apologize. I did not get the article out yesterday. I ended up having a really busy day yesterday, so I didn't end up getting it out. I am going to get it out basically as soon as this show's over. We're going to be creating the Nasty Boy for that as well. You know what? Maybe I'll do... this might be the Nasty Boy, so screw it. I don't know. We're still tinkering with it, but right now I got under 26.5 for the first half for Iowa State and Kansas State. Iowa State plus 3.5. Western Kentucky minus 9.5. Under 61.5 for Sam Houston and Western Kentucky. Because I won't lie to you, I don't want to throw the Hawaii one in there just because I'm not fully sure about it. And then so far, these are odds of plus 817. You're going to be able to get a boost that you can use on it. I got a 25% boost since at the 1022, 50% boost since at the 1026. I think that's going to be my Nasty Boy. We'll just basically keep it within 2 games. So we'll take 2 spreads, 2 unders. So like I said, that's Western Kentucky minus 9.5, Iowa State plus 3.5. Under first half, Iowa State, Kansas State. Under Western Kentucky, Sam Houston. And then like I said, thank you all for watching. Thank you for the support. Really do appreciate it. Now this is the outro. I'll be back in this feed on Tuesday probably. We'll probably go over all the... I might do an episode Monday. It's either going to be Monday or Tuesday. Next episode will be Thursday. But we're just going to talk about all the college football games we saw. Go over some more NFL news because obviously this is going to be the final week of preseason games. So there's going to be some probably cuts this weekend. We're going to get the rosters nailed down. So next week's pretty much just going to be like more after we do the recap of these college games, there's more information dumped for the NFL, more information dumped for the NFL. And then Thursday, it will be more NFL news. And then, hey, man, college football week 1. We got games, I think, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for you. Wow, boy. I think I might have to do a show. I might have to check. Might have a show Wednesday. Because, no, I'll probably still do a show Thursday. You just might miss some of the Thursday bets. Because, yeah, there's not too many crazy games. Like, yeah, I won't lie to you. There's like 1 or 2 games I would consider betting on there. So I might just still do a show Thursday. We'll see. Look out for a show. It might be Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. I don't know what the combo shows will be. But it'll be 2 shows next week. Following week, we'll go to 3 shows. And then we're here, people. This weekend, we got football this weekend. We're back. It feels great to be back. We're officially in. The JC plays. My Pickem series will be starting in 2 weeks. Really excited about that. I mean, we're here, people. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Let's enjoy some football. And, man, we back, baby.